Hello. Left my computer on the bed. I'm back with the computer. This is going to be what the f is happening with my camera. I'm back for a third time. I have my pumpkin socks on. It's fun times all around. I started decorating for winter. You can't see, but I have a little tree up there. I know. I have my computer. I have a stack of classics that I got. It's like compiled over 2 trips to Barnes & Noble. I went to my local B&N, which is already like a 40-minute drive. And then I went to, like the next day, I went to a B&N that's farther away from me. It said it wasn't, like it says it's an hour on Google Maps, but it feels so much longer than it says it is. I found like 4 more classics there. I'm just on like a classics binge or something right now. I'm really into it specifically for Victorian literature. I have no clue what any of these are about. I have the vaguest idea about some of them, but today is going to be sort of a book haul slash figure out what these are about because I bought them before reading the description. We're gonna start with A Tale of Two Cities. I did not have to read this in high school. I feel like I should count myself lucky. I don't know, I feel like the things you read in high school, they suck to read while you're in high school, but then at least you know what it's about. I can't even remember a book that I had to read in high school. I don't think I had to read any book for high school. I've had to read books for university. That could have been because my high school situation was really weird. I didn't go to a public high school. Now I'm really awkward and antisocial because of that. It's fine. I only know that this is before the French Revolution. I don't know. I think it goes from right before the French Revolution into the French Revolution. I might be wrong. You know what? Why don't I just read this? What is this for if not to read? Charles Darnay, an exiled French aristocrat, and Sidney Carton, a disreputable but brilliant English lawyer, as they become enmeshed through their love for Lucy Manet, the daughter of a political prisoner. I see guillotine in here and I'm really excited. Honestly, I don't know if it's just Penguin's way of making things look smaller, but this book doesn't look as long as I expected it to be. I haven't read... Is that a picture? Hold up. We have pictures. Oh, dang. Oh boy, I'm excited. I haven't read any Charles Dickens, so this... I got 2, so either this or the other one are gonna be my first Charles Dickens book. Let me know what Dickens you've read. If you have a favorite Dickens, if you don't even like Dickens. I don't even know if I'm gonna like Dickens. So when I started reading sort of late, when I was like 14 is when I started really getting into reading. I detested classics. I really did not like classic books. I thought they were really boring and ugh, you know, but now that I'm older, I feel like I appreciate them more. It's funny because most of the books on my favorites shelf are classics actually. I would say my favorite classic, considering I haven't read a lot. Okay, I've got 3 classics on my favorite shelf. I have Little Women, I have The Hobbit, and I have The Picture of Dorian Gray. I don't know which one's my favorite. I want to say Little Women, but I really love The Picture of Dorian Gray, even though The Hobbit's my favorite book. Not counting The Hobbit, I don't know which is my favorite. I really love those 2. Anyways, moving on. It's not a Victorian classic. I feel like it is a classic book in its own genre, but I got it because I kept hearing about it. I didn't know this when I bought it, but apparently there's a TV show coming out about it. There's a movie too, is what my boyfriend said. It is Interview with the Vampire by Anne Rice. I don't know what this is about. As much as I can ascertain from it, there's an interview with not a vampire, but the vampire. I don't know why that irritates me so much. The vampire. I want it to be Interview with a Vampire, but it's Interview with the Vampire. I don't know why it really grates my nerves. I don't know what it's about. Excited. I keep hearing good things about it. The good things are not spoilery. They're not saying, you know, why it's good. So I saw it and I grabbed it. Here are the confessions of a vampire, hypnotic, shocking, and chillingly erotic. This is a novel of mesmerizing beauty and astonishing force, a story of danger and flight, of love and loss, of suspense and resolution, and of the extraordinary power of the senses. That doesn't give a lot away. I kind of want to read it right now because it looks so short, and I've kind of been trudging my way through harder novels recently. I feel like this would be a nice break. I read like the first line and it doesn't look too bad. It actually looks really interesting. So hopefully I'll get through this soon That's the second thing I got. All right, moving on. Third book I got is The Tenant of Wildfell Hall by Anne Bronte. I mix up what the Bronte sisters have written. So, oh, there's a sticker on the back. Let me just rip that off. It's coming off so nicely. Oh yay! They usually leave marks, but it didn't. It stuck to my finger. Isn't this so pretty? Oh my god, okay. Look at this. The pages, so pretty. The only thing I don't like is that the pages are kind of glossy, which means I'm gonna have a hard time annotating. It's a small price to pay for the salvation of this beautiful cover. I don't know what this is about either. I think it's about, usually they're about, with the Brontes, I've noticed, governesses, romances that they have. When Helen Graham takes the tenancy of Wildfell Hall, she incites passion and rumor among the local community. Helen's secrets are slowly revealed, the flight from a brutish, dissolute husband and determination that her son should not follow his example. It sounds like it has drama, which I eat that for breakfast. I'm super excited to read this. It doesn't look super thick, but it does look like it's gonna take me some time since I'm a really slow reader. I haven't read any other Bronte books except for Jane Eyre, and I really didn't like Jane Eyre, so I hope I like this more. I didn't plan on giving any of the Bronte sisters another try, but I think I will. Hopefully it's good. The next book I got, I think this might, okay, it's a tie between this and another one. This might be my favorite cover of all the books I've gotten. So it's Middlemarch by George Eliot. Is this not the most beautiful dark academia aesthetic you've ever seen? This one does actually look pretty thick. No surprise, don't know what this is about. Peopling its landscape are Dorothea Brooke, a young idealist whose search for intellectual fulfillment leads her into a disastrous marriage to the pedantic scholar Casaubon, Dr. Lydgate, whose pioneering medical methods combined with an imprudent marriage to the spendthrift beauty Rosamond threatened to undermine his career, and the religious hypocrite Bulstrode, hiding scandalous crimes from his past. Was this written for me? Okay, anyway, I did not know anything about George Eliot. I just watched a documentary about her, didn't know she was a girl. Never had any reason to look into that. Excited. It sounds like drama. I love drama. I think I'm gonna like it. I don't know when I'm gonna get around to it. Obviously I want to read all of these right now. Unfortunately, I'm cursed with being a slow reader, so very excited for this. Next we have Far from the Madding Crowd by Thomas Hardy. This one, I like the bees. I love bees. I didn't get it the first time I saw it. I didn't look at what it was about. I think it's a love triangle, love square. Goodreads. Far from the Madding Crowd. Independent and spirited Bathsheba Everdeen has come to Weatherbury to take up her position as a farmer on the largest estate in the area. Her bold presence draws three very different suitors: the gentleman farmer Boldwood, soldier seducer Sergeant Troy, and the devoted shepherd Gabriel Oakes. So is it like a love square? I don't know. No, there's a movie. Very excited. Love the cover. Yeah. Sounds scandalous. I'm in. Next I got Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. I have not read anything by Dostoevsky. I don't think I've actually read any Russian classics. Surprising given how much I love Russia and Russian. It's a thriller of sorts, maybe mystery. Raskolnikov, a destitute and desperate former student, wanders through the slums of St. Petersburg and commits a random murder without remorse or regret. He imagines himself to be a great man, a Napoleon, acting for a higher purpose beyond conventional moral law, but as he embarks on a dangerous game of cat and mouse with a suspicious police investigator, Raskolnikov is pursued by the growing voice of his conscience and finds the noose of his own guilt tightening around his neck. Only Sonia, a downtrodden sex worker, can offer the chance of redemption. This sounds fabulous. I don't know why I haven't read this sooner. That's pleasing, is it not? That's really pleasing. I feel like this is one of the ones that's going to keep my interest. I'm a big fan of murder. Not, you know, to do. It's kind of like sports. You watch football, you don't play football, you watch it. I watch murder. I don't do murder, I watch murder. Or in this case, I read. I don't know why it has a, is that a phoenix? A bird on it of some sort. What does that represent? I don't know. Pretty hyped about this. Skimming over it, it looks like one of those classics that doesn't give you a stroke to try to read. I'm also a big fan of that. Fan of readable classics. So moving on. Other Charles Dickens book was Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. Is it not? What more could you want? I know this is about someone named Pip or something. Back to Goodreads I go. Orphaned Pip is apprenticed to the dirty work of the forge but dares to dream of becoming a gentleman. And one day, under sudden and enigmatic circumstances, he finds himself in possession of great expectations. Yeah, not getting much from that blurb. I think this is the one I'm maybe least excited for, just because I always see it and I've never had any interest in it. You gotta give things a try sometimes. Moving on, we have The Moonstone by Wilkie Collins. I am currently reading The Woman in White by Wilkie Collins. Fabulous so far. Just fabulous. I'm on page 144, I think. I actually really like it so far. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. I feel like the characters are really well fleshed out, and their personalities and their little quirks are really fun to read about. I know this is a mystery, and I know there's something called the Moonstone. It looks like someone steals a diamond is what I'm getting from this, and we've got a whole range of characters, sort of like The Woman in White, Wilkie Collins strikes again. I feel like this one's gonna have the same sort of humor that The Woman in White had. Also the cover, again, look at that. Just amazing. Moving on to the next one. We have this giant, The Way We Live Now by Anthony Trollope. I have not read any Trollope, and I don't really know, again, what this is about, but it's pretty. It looks like it's got a whole bunch of characters again, which seems to be a theme coming out of Victorian literature, that they just start throwing in a large cast of characters. So the story concerns Augustus Melmotte, a French swindler and scoundrel, and his daughter, to whom Felix Carberry, adored son of the authoress Lady Carberry, is induced to propose marriage for the sake of securing a fortune. It looks like one of the biggest attributes of Trollope is his portrayal of Lady Carberry, I guess. It looks like she has a very strong personality, is what I'm gonna say from reading the blurb. I'm not gonna lie, the cover, that's why I bought this. I hope that this story matches my expectations from the cover. I think this is probably the prettiest book that I've bought on this haul. Very daunting. Someday. Over 800 pages it looks like. Good stuff. Let's move on. Next I have Illette by Charlotte Bronte. I think you're not surprised to hear that I don't know what this is about, but there's a sticker on the back. That blows. So we're going to look up what this book is about. I'm going on Goodreads. The Lucy Snow flees England and a tragic past to become an instructor in a French boarding school in the town of Illette. There she unexpectedly confronts her feelings of love and longing as she witnesses the fitful romance between Dr. John, a handsome young Englishman, and Minerva Fanshawe, a beautiful coquette. The first pain brings others, yet in spite of adversity and disappointment, Lucy Snow survives to recount the unstinting vision of a turbulent life's journey, a journey that is one of the most insightful fictional studies of a woman's consciousness in English literature. I feel like I'm not getting a lot of indication about what these stories are about. I have never heard of this book before, actually. I just saw it in the bookstore and I saw Bronte, and here we are. That's gonna look good on the shelf. It's gonna look really good on the shelf. Moving on to the last book. This isn't really a classic, but I got it because I think everybody's heard of this person and I feel like I should probably read some of her. So it's Emily Dickinson's poems. Just a giant collection. Just huge. It's as she preserved them. It's sort of like the order she left them in, and it has some pictures. It has some pictures. Pictures of her actual handwriting and her poems. It's just sort of as she preserved them, you know, so how she wrote them down, and if they weren't completely finished, that's still in here. It's really big. I don't think I'm gonna read it front to back. I think maybe a little bit every day. So this is the final book that I got. It's a big stack. It's, let me count, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11 books. I feel like it's gonna take me forever to get to these, especially when I have a huge TBR besides those to read, and classics always take me an ungodly amount of time to finish. I have been reading The Woman in White for 3 weeks. It's been a hot minute. I'm not even halfway through. Let's see if I can hold this up there. I don't think I can. You know what? I'm not gonna try. That's that. I kind of have nowhere to put them. I'm losing shelf space, if I'm being really honest. Might have to rearrange. That's the end of the haul. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Have a good life. Bye!